So when it comes to super compact pre-built gaming PCs, the Corsair One series is the one that first comes to mind. It has been around for a few years now, and they just launched their latest model, the i300, that features latest processors and latest graphics cards. Now, there are several different configurations available that you can actually see on their website, and the one that I have right here is a top spec version that comes with an i9-12900K, an RTX 3080 Ti, 64 gigs of DDR5 memory, and a 2TB SSD, which is actually quite impressive for such a tiny tower. So let's find out what Corsair put together here, how does it perform, and if it's worth recommending to people that don't want to or don't have time to build their own PC. Let's begin. This video is brought to you by Gigabyte and their M32U gaming monitor. The M32U features a fast IPS panel with a 4K resolution and 144Hz refresh rate. It has a ton of important gaming features, including FreeSync Premium Pro, as well as G-Sync compatibility, and it just offers everything you need for a high-end gaming experience. Plus, compared to the other 32-inch high refresh rate 4K gaming monitors on the market, the M32U offers the best value of them all. Check it out using the links in the description below. So the first thing that stands out is how small this tower is. It is about 38 centimeters high, just under 20 centimeters deep, and about 16 centimeters wide. And that makes it a bit smaller than the NZXT H1 and a lot smaller than the Phanteks Evolve Shift, which are the two compact ITX towers that come to mind if you want to build something like this for yourself. It is also a lot more compact than horizontal cases like the Cooler Master NR200P, for example. And I would not recommend that you put this case horizontally because it needs to pull air from both sides and then push it up top. However, here you do kind of benefit from having a much smaller footprint on your desk. Now, the build quality is excellent as well, with solid metal panels all around, and design-wise, everything is kept so clean. Now, Corsair has a few products that go a little bit too far for my own taste, but I do think that they've done really well and they managed to pull quite an elegant look here. Now, I don't think this would look out of place in a professional setup, even though they are kind of aiming this PC at gamers. Now, there is a bit of RGB on it, but I think those lines are a nice addition and not too much. Now, of course, you can control the RGB with their IQ software and set your own colors, effects. You can have it adjust to temperatures, for example, or you can even turn it off if you prefer. You get two USB Type-A ports, a Type-C port, and an audio jack on the front, and on the back there are another 6 USB ports, 2 Thunderbolt ports, LAN, Wi-Fi, and more audio jacks. Now, the only thing I would have liked to see is an optical audio out, but the rest is actually pretty okay for an ITX system. Now, since this is a pre-built PC, most buyers don't really have to worry too much about internals, but being able to upgrade it and being able to do the regular maintenance is still pretty important. Now, to open it up, all you need to do is press the button on the back, which releases the top panel. Then you need to make sure to disconnect the fan connected there, and then you can take the top cover off. As you can see, on the top cover is a 140mm Corsair fan, which is responsible for pulling out all of the warm air out of the case. On each side, there are 2 screws that hold the side panels in place, and by removing them, you get access to both the CPU and the GPU compartment. You can actually go further and disassemble it completely, but honestly, if you just need to clean the fans and clean the radiators properly, every once in a while, you don't really need to do more than just open those side panels. Now, while it would be cool if Corsair was selling this as a standalone case, it just wouldn't make much sense because regular components don't really fit. Now, the GPU compartment has a custom radiator and a pump that are combined with some extra heat sinks and fans for extra air intake. And on the CPU side, there is another custom radiator with tubes that are just long enough to fit this specific design. There is a regular Corsair SF750 power supply in the bottom, so that should be easy enough to replace if it ever breaks. It is a modular PSU, and you can just leave all the pre-installed cables and plug them into the new unit. Now, the SSD and the memory are very easy to access as well if you ever need to or want to upgrade those. Unfortunately, you cannot really add a second SSD, so if you ever need more storage, I guess you could just add an external SSD to this. But the really odd thing is that Corsair here isn't using Corsair memory nor Corsair's storage. Now, the included SSD is the OEM version of the Samsung 980 Pro, which is actually excellent, so they must have done it for supply reasons rather than cost. And that being said, they don't exactly specify which SSD they're using, nor if they're using a Gen 4 SSD at all. So it is technically possible that at some point they could swap it to something else. So please do keep that in mind. But let's talk performance here. Now, I don't have other pre-builds to compare it to, but I do have test data using retail RTX 3080 Ti cards. And on 1440p and 4K resolutions, the GPU is the most important factor here. And the CPU differences between this and my test bench don't really matter as much. And the gaming performance of this Corsair falls roughly in between the 3080 Ti Founders Edition and the fastest overclocked third-party 3080 Ti's. Now, these couple of percent differences aren't something that you would usually notice, so it will game as well as any typical self-built ATX PC. It is also really quiet while gaming, measuring only 37.8 decibels at 50 centimeters distance, and that is quiet enough to not bother anyone while gaming, nor anyone else that happens to be in the same room. The temperatures in-game look great as well, with the CPU sitting at around 60 degrees and the GPU core around 67. Now, the GPU hotspot is 76 degrees, which is pretty low, and only the memory junction temp stands out at 100 degrees. Now, this is within spec, and it is something that happens to several 3080 Ti's and 3090 cards, and it shouldn't be an issue. But I also do find it a bit high, and I do want to point it out. Now, increasing the fan speed does make a difference, but I don't think it's worth it. At 100% fan, you're dealing with 45 decibels of noise, which is pretty loud, and you only win a couple of degrees. I do recommend keeping it on the default fan profile, or you can use the IQ software to make a custom fan curve and just tune the fans to your own liking. But things did get quite tricky when stressing the CPU. Now, the 12900K is a very difficult processor to cool down, even in a large ATX case with a large water cooler. So in a small case like this one, with only a tiny radiator, Corsair just decided to limit the power consumption instead. Now, for games, this doesn't really matter that much because the CPU usually pulls between 50 to 100 watts. But in a CPU stress test, it usually pulls around 250 watts, which Corsair then limited to 150 to 180, depending on the situation. And the system handles that without many problems. The CPU does get warm, but it's manageable, and again, with very little fan noise. Now, that drop in power consumption doesn't cost you as much performance-wise as you would think, and I really don't think it would make that much of a difference in those real-world applications for most people. But my problem here is that a much cheaper i7 would make so much more sense in this situation, and that option is just not being offered at all. Instead, you pay more to get an i9, and then that i9 cannot get to its full potential. And speaking of the price, now this exact configuration is supposed to cost around 5,000 euros here in the EU, which is a lot of money. Now, when I got this a few weeks ago, I tried to kind of build a system with the same specs, but then in a Cooler Master NR200P Max instead. And that ended up being 4,600 euros for all components plus the Windows 11 Pro. So that was only about 10% of a price premium for Corsair building it in an even smaller case and covering all of it under one warranty, which I didn't think it was such a bad deal. But the GPU prices have dropped a lot since then, and right now I can get the exact same configuration for under 4,000 euros, while Corsair's prices haven't changed at all. So now we're looking at about 20 to 25% price premium, which is just very, very hard to justify. And that is comparing the exact specs. So let's see what happens when we try to build something similar. Now, you can easily save some money by swapping to an i7 because the i9 in this Corsair is power limited anyway. And you can also save some money by going for DDR4 memory instead of the DDR5. Now, this configuration will cost you around 3,150 euros or 3,300 if you go for 64 gigabytes of memory, and it will offer you pretty much the same performance. And keep in mind, I just quickly put this list together. I didn't really think about it much, so you could easily save even more in the case, memory and cooling, if you kind of drop the RGB, or if you go for a different case. And I'm completely aware that the strongest argument for pre-built PCs is the convenience of just buying something that has already been built. But even if you don't want to build a PC yourself, you can actually pay a reputable shop to just do it for you and still save a ton. So you really need to kind of ask yourself if you're willing to pay a lot more just to have Corsair build your PC for you in this tiny case. And it does depend on the current state of the market as well. So I personally would have said yes a few weeks ago, but right now I just don't think it makes any sense at all. So make sure that you take your time and you check the prices in your region before deciding if it's worth to you, because as a product itself, it is actually pretty great. And I really do think that Corsair has done a great job with this tiny chassis. Most pre-builds are pretty terrible, and this is a great little machine that performs really well, that's really well built, it is compact, the design is lovely, and it has decent connections, and it actually stays quiet in most scenarios. So if the price in your region makes sense at the time of the purchase, or if Corsair kind of decides to adjust the price to the new GPU pricing, it is definitely one of the very, very rare pre-builds that is worth considering. Now, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!